Hello and welcome to New Parents in Training. So today I'm going to talk about sterilizer for baby bottles. Yeah, so we have a second kid who's on the way, and today I'm just kind of talk about all four of this here. Like kind of give you a pros and cons of what you should be using at home with your baby bottles. So all four of them have something in common. All the parts that need to be sterilized need to be thoroughly cleaned before you can put them in any of this. So just bear that in mind when you are using any of this. They do not do any cleaning. Okay, they only do sterilizing, and some of them they actually dry your stuff for you as well. So anyway, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Alright, so the first one I want to talk about is this Medela Quick Clean. Now the pros for this is, as you can see, it's just a bag. So you can take it with you when you go outside or when you are doing traveling, right? So it's convenient because it's so small. Like, look at this, so tiny. This costs the least, and each bag can do 20 uses. So this is quite user-friendly when you're doing traveling with your baby. As I mentioned before, you have to clean all the parts before you put them in here. They do require you to put 2 ounces or 60 ml of water into the bag. If you don't have a measuring cup with you, that's fine. All you need to do is just get one the baby bottle and just measure that way, because they already have measurement on the baby bottle. So just pour the water and drop every part in here, and then seal the bag and put inside the microwave. Now, depending on the output of the microwave, if it's 1100 watts, then it's 1.5 minutes. If it's between 800 to 1100 watts, then it requires 3 minutes. And if it's 500 watts to 750 watts, it requires 5 minutes. When you put in there, just make sure that once it's done, just be careful with it because it's going to be hot. And you just pour out the water from the side. So they do have a vent, a steam vent, and this is where you're gonna pour out all the water. So the pro for this is obviously small, but the con is, well, there's no drying component to it, right? So it only does sterilizing. After that, your bottle where the pump parts are still gonna be wet. Also, I don't know how you wanna store this. It might easily get either damaged or get dirty. So you might have to use an extra bag to cover this, make sure this stay clean as well. So just FYI, so this is the Medela Quick Clean. So the next one I'm going to talk about is this Philips AVENT. This one is actually pretty cool. You can actually put inside a microwave to sterilize using the microwave. Just like the Medela Quick Clean, you just put all the parts in here and then drop some water and then put in the microwave. Depending on the size of the output for the microwave, they range from 2 minutes to 6 minutes. The amount of water you're gonna put in here is 200 ml. As I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a measuring cup, it's fine. Just use one the baby bottle, right? Now, the upside is, this is actually really affordable. At the time of filming, this is actually less than $17. Usually it is right around like $33 or so. But they have it in some kind of sale on Amazon. So if for the most up-to-date pricing, please check out the description below. With our first kit, what my wife was using this is at work, mainly for the pump parts. So she will put all the pump parts in here and drop the water and then put in the microwave, and it will sterilize. Now the downside is that it's perfectly fine to use the small one because it fits. But if you drop in one, this kind of tall bottle, it's not gonna, you are not gonna close this lid at all. So that's the downside. It only fits certain type of bottles, preferably small ones. Or you might need to get one of their AVENT small bottle like this. This will fit perfectly inside here. And all the pump parts, you can just lay it sideways and then have it in there. Now, when you are microwaving this, make sure that the lid closed. You have to hear that sound, like to make sure that this is secure before you put it inside your microwave. And also, once the time is up, you take it out, it's going to be hot to touch. So you need to let it cool down a little bit before you open this, in case of the steam might burn your skin. Now, another downside with this is there's no drying capability. Now you're able to sterilize your stuff, but no drying, right? So the good thing about this particular sterilizer is that if you are a working mom and you have to do pumping at work, then this might be a really suitable option for you to sterilize the pump parts after you have used it. Alright, so the next one I'm going to talk about is this Papablic sterilizer and dryer. So this thing is actually relatively affordable, under $80 at the time of filming. Now, some of the pros with this is super easy to use. You can see there's 2 containers here. Now, if you don't have that much stuff, you can just use the top part, this basket, to sterilize and dry stuff. Now, if you have more stuff, such as more baby bottles, then you can use this whole container here along with the top basket. So this does sterilize and drying as well. The amount of water that you pour into this is 100 ml. Preferably use distilled water. Now we've been using distilled water and we haven't had any issues. But if you use tap water, there might be mineral deposit end up onto the heating pad. Now bear that in mind. If there are mineral deposit, then you have to do descaling to kind of get rid of them. It won't damage the machine, but I think over time with mineral deposit, then it's make it less efficient. Now another pro is compared to the previous 2, this one does drying as well. So there's a knob here. The first stage is sterilizing, and then the second stage is sterilizing and drying. The last stage is extra drying. So after you have done sterilizing and drying and you find your bottle and parts are still wet, then you might have to turn the knob all the way down to do extra drying. One of the biggest drawbacks with this sterilizer is that the container is big. It can hold 6 bottles inside. However, if you are trying to sterilize tall bottles, you might not be able to get the top basket to fit. And another thing is there is no storage unit. Technically, the basket here is not for storing your bottles and pump parts. So you do need to have an accessory to hold all the parts that's been sterilized and dry. Since this is not digitized, in order for it to dry more, you have to turn the knob all the way down. Then you have to remember to turn it off because it will just continue the process of doing drying and sterilizing again. So you don't want that to happen. A little bit more complicated than a digitized one because there's not that much stuff that you can customize when you're doing the sterilizing and drying. Okay, so the last one I want to talk about is this baby Brezza. And this one comes in at just under $100 at the time of filming. This one is actually pretty cool. There's a storage rack here. So after you're done sterilizing and drying, you can actually just take this and set it aside, and this can be your storage unit for all your pump parts and bottles. I know some people might just want to sterilize and then just let it air dry. You can do that with this as well. So it's easy to remove out from the machine itself. Now for this machine, it requires a max of 120 ml of liquid in here. Now preferably again, use distilled water to prevent any mineral deposit underneath the heating pad. So here it says max of 120. Now do not go over that line because the air vent is right on the side. You don't want any liquid to get inside the vent to make this machine malfunction. So I have done a review of this product in the previous episode. I'll link it on top so you can go check it out. So this machine can hold 6 milk bottles and there are parts in here. Another pro about this is that it's digitized. So if you just want to do sterilizing, you can hit that button. And if you want to do sterilizing and drying, they have a separate button for that as well. Now, if everything comes out still wet, they also have a dedicated button for just drying alone. Now, the con for this is that it has a handle on top. It kind of misleading that as if you hold it on top, you can take the whole case. Now, just bear that in mind. In case somehow this thing got stuck with the body, do not try to take from the top. Always take from the side. So this way it's easier to carry. So another thing I don't like about it is the price is the most expensive of the 4. But I guess all the customization and then versatility of the storage rack justify the cost. If the price is a little bit cheaper, that would be even nicer. Alright, so in conclusion about this 4 sterilizer here, these 2 are very suitable for if you are on the go. You can take this with you. They are small enough for you to either put in your office or this when you go out and traveling. Now for the other 2 I have here, I think for any parents out there, you need to have at least one of them. because they not only do sterilizing but also drying as well. Now, preferably something that's digitized and have a storage rack, so it's more user friendly. But this one works just as well. If you are budget minded, then you might want to go with this. But just keep that in mind, this tool is only suitable for if you're on a roll or outside. So anyway, if you have any questions, comment down below. Until next time, bye.